Hello, everybody, and welcome to our virtual back to school session to your child's Algebra 1 class. My name is Mr. Dunn. I'm here with Mrs. Curtis, who will introduce herself in a minute. And we're here to talk about our Algebra 1 class and all the things that we do.
Hi, I'm Ms. Curtis. So I'm going to be talking about the topics that are covered are all listed here. We start off with linear equations, and by the end, they will be learning quadratic functions. Materials that we ask that your student or child brings to the class are Chromebook that is charged, some sort of notebook or folder to write in. We do use Plickers for participation, and then we ask that your child brings a calculator of some sort. We recommend the TI-84, which is pictured. We cannot mandate it, but this way they have it for all 4 years of high school. The worst case, any calculator will do. The biggest thing that we're using is the online textbook. That's where they can get all the materials that we use in class, as well as all the homework assignments.
And now we'll get into our grading. The grading is pretty much standard. I mean, it may not be exactly what your other classes are for your children's classes, but this one is pretty much standard. Homework is 15%, classwork 15%, quizzes 30%, and tests 40%. Now, it's pretty straightforward. If you give a test or a quiz, the grade that they receive is the grade they get. Homework, how we grade homework is based on effort. One of the big things that we do is we don't try to punish kids if they get problems wrong on their homework. To us, homework is a time where they should be making mistakes, as long as when they come to class, whether they're in person or virtual, they're asking questions. There's nothing wrong with that. We always encourage as many questions as possible when we go over the assignments. Our homework will be given on platforms like Big Ideas, IXL. All the assignments are put in Google Classroom. Ms. Curtis is actually going to talk about that in a minute, the Google Classroom. But there are other platforms that we do use homework with. But for the most part, Big Ideas and IXL are the main part of how we're going to assign homework. Obviously, everything is going to be virtual, or almost everything is virtual with this craziness going on this year. The other part that's also, well, I guess the subjective part to it is classwork. We try to take as much subjectivity out of it as possible. Though usually, I'd say about 9 out of 10 times, there's a daily do now question that's on the board. And assuming that they have their materials ready, a notepad if they're in school, or they're at home and they're completing the do now, a lot of it is online that gets submitted, so myself or Ms. Curtis could check. And also for the students that are either fully virtual or at home for that day, that are in school but not for that specific day, is our classwork grade is participating on our class Zoom link. So all they have to do is, and they've all done it so far, they know what it is, but there is an attendance question that they have to answer present to, but they have to log on to that link and participate in class. Just one little tidbit that I know we've been reminding kids about, and this is not just for this class, it's every class, that when they do click on the Zoom link, they have to have their cameras on, and that's across the board for every subject, to make sure that they didn't just click the link, I guess, and are still sleeping. So that's the idea, that the camera must be on. We have to see them, and they're going to see what we're doing, just like you're seeing our desktop now. They'll see our desktop, and they could also kind of interact that way. So that's how we grade our homework and our classwork. Ms. Curtis is now going to go on to
Google Classroom. So Google Classroom is where all the children can find all the information, whether they are in school or at home. As Mr. Dunn said, we list all of our do nows. That's where they sign in for attendance. Class notes and lessons are all posted there. While we're trying to Zoom all of our lessons, we understand that sometimes things may get lost in translation, so that they can refer back to it, especially before a quiz or a test. We always give at least a day's notice before a quiz, and usually a couple more before a test, but it's up to the student to kind of refer back to those notes that are posted. Also, we include study guides and answer keys. A lot of things are being put online, so it's sometimes hard to see the math work. So we also are trying to be able to provide more of those answer keys and step-by-step process for them to refer back to and really just check on their own work. Homework assignments are organized every day. We usually give homework or some sort of practice every day. And then daily Zoom links, which we'll talk about more for extra help, but we do use the same daily Zoom link to kind of put away the confusion. So every day when the child is home, we encourage them to join, and then this way they're seeing what the students in school are seeing at the same time. As we said before, IXL is great even just for practice. There's skills that go along with everything and big ideas. So usually we can suggest it, but if not, reach out to us and we can always suggest different skills for your child to work on. Also, on the Rutherford Public Schools website, there's an email for every single teacher and also their homework site, which is hooked up to their Google Classroom. For extra help, we do still offer it before school. Mr. Dunn is in room 222, which is where your children have class. I am in 112 before school, so they can come visit before school to either one of us if they struggle with something. After school every day, from 1:17 to 2:32, we are on Zoom. Those links are also posted in Classroom. This way we can provide extra help through Zoom, and we're able to screen share, and students can, if they want to troubleshoot some problems or extra practice, every single day after school, we're providing help that way. National Honor Society is a student-based extra help, which will be via Zoom. It's not set up currently, but it will be in the near future.
And just to close out, I know this is a different kind of parent-teacher conference than me and myself and Ms. Curtis are used to, and I'm sure you guys are too. But if at any point you guys have questions, make sure you reach out. Our emails are at the bottom. You can find them on the school website. For any reason whatsoever, always feel free to reach out to either one of us. So we'd like to thank you for your time and listening to our virtual back-to-school night. Hopefully we'll be, who knows, maybe we'll be able to get together in person at some point. But thank everybody out there and enjoy the rest of your night.